Today we are reviewing the latest video game movie, a Minecraft movie starring Jason Momoa, Jack Black and Sebastian Hansen. On a budget of $150 million, it has grossed $300 million globally despite lukewarm box office reviews. It has a score of 6.0 on IMDb, but 88% on the popcornometer, which I practiced. Critics broadly are not fans, but was the movie any good? We are here to find out. Fred and I, using the patented Mate Night system of cutting-edge statistical models, will score it out of 10 in 9 categories and take the average.
That's not how it works. It's very rigorous.
To get things kicked off, our first 2 scores, gut reaction. 100% subjective. Did we actually enjoy this film?
All right. A Minecraft movie, a film about a few blocks and an adventure with Jack Black. Scored out of 10 to 1 decimal place. Jambo, 3, 2, 1.
5.9?
7.2.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
5.9.
Surprisingly, it looked awful on trailers.
Oh, right. I thought you were about to say it looked awful in the thing. And
No.
I
mean,
disagree.
I went in thinking this looked so rubbish.
Yes.
And I'm only just below mix, 6.0. 6
is mix, as everyone knows.
And I was like, broadly, it is a mix. There was some surprisingly good things in there. I did really enjoy it. It was a mix. There were some really good things about it. But at the end of the day, it was just a children's movie.
Yeah, and that can generally leave a lower mark when it comes to enjoyment. But for me, it was a classic case of low expectations.
It really was, wasn't it?
Low expectations. I watched the trailer for this as you did, found it not to my taste. And then in the run-up, rare case for me of being like, hey, I've not engaged with Minecraft in any capacity, really. Mm-hmm. So maybe I'll do a little bit of research into it.
You didn't.
Well, just a tiny bit. I watched a beginner's YouTube video about, what do I do if I'm in a Minecraft world?
Yeah, okay.
How does it work?
What did you learn?
And then I kind of got excited for it. I was like, okay, let's see. I watched another video about the production, or how it came to be, this film, which we're going to do a short segment on later.
Tune in.
And with all that in mind, I saw that people were starting to get a bit excited by this. The most recent trailer had better graphics and CGI involved. And so I was thinking, okay, I could be persuaded into thinking this is going to be fine. But I still had low expectations. And with that in mind, I had quite an enjoyable time. So it really bumped it into the 7s for me, because it's the enjoyment rating.
It's so true. It's like we're always trying to escape the whole whatever you go in expecting has such a massive impact on your score, but it's just impossible to get away from. And this was just one of those exactly like that, where it's just like, this just looks like the most garbage for it. It looked like Jumanji, and you know what? It was a bit like Jumanji, but it was kind of enjoyable. So
yeah, I didn't watch Jumanji. Did you?
I did watch Jumanji, yeah. And to be honest with you, mate, it's the exact same film. Yeah. And this is one of the biggest criticisms from critics, which I think is totally fair.
Okay.
So this film literally is just Jumanji again. Okay.
Right. Okay.
But it's obviously a film adaptation of Minecraft, and Minecraft had such a huge presence in the gaming world because it is by quite a long way one of the best games there is for creativity. If you can think of something you're like, I want to try this, most games you can't do that, but with Minecraft you really can. And one of the biggest criticisms of the Minecraft movie is, well, you've got this game which is literally all about creativity, and the plot broadly was just like a pretty generic one. Like, it wasn't bad, but it just like there was nothing creative at all about the execution of the plot. And I was like, you know what? They're not wrong. It didn't utilize the actual source material's sheer creative potential to anything like the extent that it should have done.
But I mean, the reason behind that is it's for popularity's sake, right? If they made it a bit too esoteric, it was always going to be difficult to really get people engaged and coming.
Do you think it's one or the other, though? Do you not think that you could kind of take a plot which lends itself well to broad audiences, but also gives you a bit of a taste for the creative freedom that the game provides you with in the format of a film?
Yeah, potentially. I think some people do it really well, right? Like Nolan has always been known as someone who really takes very ambitious decisions around his plot and then gets loads of bums in seats still.
Yes.
But also you could argue that some of his later films do kind of drink his Kool-Aid a bit, don't they?
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, let's not get sidetracked.
Not go into too much of that. In this case, it's pretty run-of-the-mill, right? Yes, plot was a bit derivative, but good. I thought decent use of the Minecraft world as someone who was unfamiliar with it. So that's one thing actually I want to ask. So questions with Fred.
We like that.
Question 1. Do you need to have played Minecraft to watch this film?
I've actually given this some thought.
Yeah, go on.
I don't think you have to.
No.
And I think that really this game, I've done I played Minecraft once, right? I've actually played it, but just once. And what's clear is that basically every single scene is just like, here is another thing from Minecraft on the big screen, and here's another thing and if you're like a massive Minecraft fan, then like there will be so much there for you.
Yeah.
But it feeds it to you in a way where you just don't have to know what's going on in Minecraft before it, because it literally spends about 10 minutes going, here is exactly how to bring it up to the universe.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, it was sort of rhetorical, wasn't it? This film just explains exactly what Minecraft is to you. So don't feel like you have, if you're an adult, maybe bringing a kid along, or if you're someone who just wants to watch a film and you're wondering about this new explosive video game that's got 300 million returns in box office.
Already.
Yeah, you really don't need to have any understanding of the backstory or lore.
Yeah, and more to that point, one of the things I really wanted to say on this was like, this film is really, you can tell who the intended audience is by the main character's sort of identity, right? That's obviously who the main audience is. But we've just watched Adolescence, and one of the things that it raises there is about parents not quite connecting with their kids. And I was watching the Minecraft movie, and I was thinking, you know what? If your kid plays a lot of Minecraft, you should go watch this film, because it would really help you understand what it is that engages your kids so much in this thing. There are so many kids who play it like 50 hours a week. It's like, go watch it, and then at least you can kind of chat with your kids about it a little bit. And
yeah, and it's a very interesting point, because another. Do you mind if we go back to my segment?
Sorry, mate. Yeah.
Back to segment. Questions with Fred. And the second part of the segment is question number 2.
Yeah.
What do you think the theme was?
I think that the theme was the skills which the games that you love require can be used in the real world too. I think that was the message it was trying to say, is like, it's okay to love Minecraft, but just know that you can grow up and still be that person.
Yeah, okay. So this is where I had a bit of trouble thematically. I was thinking, I tried to write it down when we were doing our notes, notes before this. I was like, okay, so a big driver of the plot, or thematically, a key message throughout most of the film is be free to explore creativity. And I want to be careful to navigate around spoilers, but this is just generally, we'll talk about themes here. I won't go into too many details, but if you are worried, if you're really concerned about getting spoiled on anything, maybe leave this for now. But by the end, the idea is more about, don't let creativity get in the way of what's truly important. Or maybe not don't let creativity. Well, it's hard to judge. That's what I mean. It was quite hard to understand.
So do you think that my interpretation maybe has helped you, or you? I think
your interpretation is a fair way of looking at it.
Okay.
But here's where I'm kind of in two minds as to whether they meant it. This is a Minecraft film, supposedly about why it's great to enjoy Minecraft. Yeah. But with that theme in mind, it actually kind of says don't spend too much time in Minecraft, right?
Yes.
So do you think they meant it like that? Was it perhaps, again being quite fair here, a message for the parents?
I think it was, I think that almost entirely it was aimed at the kids who play Minecraft. And I think that one of the things that really resonated with me about this movie it's one of the first movies that I've watched in a very long time where it's addressing these kids and, let's say, the issue of them playing too much Minecraft. But it comes from a place of like, and there's so many kids like this where it's like, it basically says it's okay for you to be, into Minecraft, and to be like, it's okay for you to be this kid that you definitely don't think you're cool. You know, because you're a Minecraft player. No Minecraft player is like, that's cool.
I'm really cool.
Yeah, right, exactly. And it really felt like it came from a place of compassion and guiding thematically. It was like, it's okay to be like this. This is how you can grow up whilst also staying true to yourself. And that was kind of the message that I took away. And I was like, that was given to them in a way that felt respectful rather than like, oh, I'm just going to condemn these kids for playing too much video games. It was like, no, I respect my audience and I'm going to be kind to them and I'm going to maybe offer them a solution at the end.
Oh, okay, I like that. All right, we'll give them that. I think I can have a tick in the box there. Okay, so some other points.
Yeah.
What did you think of the comedy?
Very hit and miss.
But definite hits in there.
Definitely. There were a few times we watched this together.
Yes.
And there were a few times where I had to hide.
Oh, sorry,
my laughter.
before you continue. We when we watch things together, which is infrequently because we want to surprise each other on Mate Night, we will not we will not react.
We won't talk. Like, we'll go out of the cinema and be like, what the hell? Like,
we'll watch a film and then we'll leave the cinema and go our separate ways without talking about a film.
We did it with Wicked. And then we did it with Minecraft. And it's very childish humor.
I let a few giggles out. Sure.
It's very childish humor, but sometimes it landed and sometimes it...
Jennifer Coolidge, the woman who plays the vice principal, will never cease to be funny to me. I find
find her really funny.
I find her really funny in everything she does. Jason Momoa I found very funny.
Oh, I'd say he was probably by far the weakest for me.
Interesting. What about him, mate? I
just laid it on way too thick, the ridiculousness.
Yeah, it was ridiculous, but it worked for me. I thought that Jack Black was actually a bit too much because Jack Black, you know what? You get Jack Black in, you know what you expect. But I did think there were a couple of times where, I mean, he could have achieved more than enough of a desired effect by just easing up a bit. I respected that he was clearly like, I've been hired, I've been cast in Minecraft, I'm going to go all out to the absolute extremes, but maybe could have dialed it down a bit a couple of times.
And it might have been better.
Might have been a bit better while still allowing him to Jack Black all over the place.
I came across a really interesting way of interpreting Jack Black's performance where they were like, the problem with it was... He was so one-dimensional. He was like the tutorial character at the start of a game.
Yeah. Okay.
Where he just like delivers these emphatic lines and then you're just kind of like, it's almost like there's no conversation going to follow. It's just like that's the line that he says and then he's stuck there as an NPC.
Funnily enough, I had the thought of it's almost like he's wanting to show so clearly that he's putting an effort in. He's like almost feeling the burden of being... We're going to get Jack Black in because we know he'll give it 100%. And it almost felt like the weight of that responsibility meant that he over-egged it so much that it was totally one-dimensional, which Jack Black is almost the perfect cast for something like this, but it felt like he was so perfectly cast, he kind of under-delivered a bit.
I do get what you're saying. Much. So 10-year-olds, if you're listening to that, maybe just bear that in mind.
School of Rock is his high point.
It really is,
100%. But you're not allowed to show that in schools now, apparently.
Well, maybe we shouldn't be watching films when we're in school anyway. I don't know.
Should be reading. All these kids playing Minecraft and watching films.
On Jason Momoa, very quickly, I couldn't help but get the distinct feeling. It reminded me a lot of when I left Thor Ragnarok. I think it was Ragnarok. And I really started to find Chris Hemsworth a bit annoying in the exact same way. Where I was like, they're just like outright humiliating this person. Like scene after scene after scene, and the actor is leaning really, really hard into it, and I can see how like 10-year-olds will find this funny, but it just feels very one-dimensional as a sense of humor. And you know, you've said it before, where they'll deliver a ridiculous line and then almost pause for the kids to laugh a bit, and it really felt like that with Jason Momoa in this, and it really felt like that with Chris Hemsworth in Thor in the later movies, where they're just kind of really trying to humiliate them and make them completely ridiculous. And it's just like, okay, it's not that funny though.
Yeah, I get you. For me, it worked. I can't really speak to anything other than that example you gave of like one-dimensional delivery and waiting for a pause. I think I brought it up on Transformers 1, which I hated the comedy in.
Yes.
I thought it didn't work at all. But sometimes, comedy is just, the same lines delivered better. And I thought Momoa genuinely got a couple of laughs from me. And so I quite liked his performance, even though he was kind of a big stereotype of that sort of macho man character who really is cripplingly insecure and weak-willed.
It felt a bit like, I'm going to butcher the term here, but you can pick off a shelf sort of thing. It's like this pre-packaged character where it's like you've kind of seen it a million times.
But that's really what you're here for in Minecraft. So, like, generally speaking, across the board, all the characters are like that. And yet it still has a charm. And
if you're the intended, like, this is something I think we have to keep going back to and acknowledging. If you are the intended audience, if you're a massive Minecraft fan or you are a 10-year-old who plays Minecraft, like, this should land with you. Like, this is really, like, this film will land for you. And if you are a parent of a kid who's really into it, you should probably just go watch it anyway, because it's almost a tutorial about what Minecraft is. It's just a tour of, like,
Minecraft.
Here's all the stuff that Minecraft can do.
You can stop spending time with your kid.
You could not invite them.
Yeah. I think, look, it's pretty fine. It's a pretty smooth ride for me.
It had funny moments.
Wasn't
aimed at us.
I think for people who do like Minecraft, no doubt they'll be watching this without our recommendation. But I know there are quite a few great Easter eggs in there. They use the gameplay well. And in terms of adult deciding whether they should bring their kid, for sure, good kids film. I'd go as far as saying a good kids film.
Completely agree.
Now the question for the adult. Back to questions with Fred. Will you enjoy this as an adult? Now, it certainly for me falls on the spectrum of Snow White to Shrek.
Yeah.
It's kind of in the middle, but I'd say more on the Shrek side.
Completely with you.
Whereas Shrek, genuinely, it's probably adults enjoy it more than kids in many instances.
Definitely agree, yeah.
But yeah, it's not unbearable, maybe quite mood dependent.
Yeah, I think that's definitely fair. Yeah. The villagers. Were they not terrifying?
Ah, okay.
They were just the most petrifying beings I've ever seen in my life.
Didn't do it for you, did they?
Well, no, I didn't hate them, but I was just like, holy shit, I would panic if I saw them in real life.
They were horrific. And the things protecting them were a lot more kind of amiable.
Yeah, they were, weren't they? The big terrifying robot.
Yeah, the villagers themselves, you wouldn't want to cross them in a dark alley. But I suppose if you find yourself in that situation in the Minecraft world, there's a lot of things that you should be questioning.
Well, we don't have all forever, so there are a couple of things which I think definitely are worth mentioning. Songs. What did you think of the songs in it?
Really enjoyed.
Okay.
What did you think?
Some hit, some miss. That was my thinking.
Right.
There was a song at a chicken shop which was just like, come on, this is fucking ridiculous.
I loved it.
Like, what I would say is it started off strong and then just got more and more like, are we just doing this because it's Jack Black? Like, why are we singing right now?
I just thought, because I wasn't really enjoying Jack Black that much in this. I was like, it's been so one note.
Yeah,
and then out of nowhere, completely unexpectedly, we've spoiled
how unlike Jack Black.
It's just
so unlike this guy.
I just didn't know
start singing in his films.
What's Jack Black known for? Anyway, he just runs headfirst into this little chicken shop ditty.
Yes,
and then there are a couple of others later on there, but for me,
you liked it.
It was a welcome surprise. It bumped it up about half a point in my enjoyment.
Yeah, some of them were really good. What do you think of the visuals?
I thought they were decent.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a very idiosyncratic design.
Yeah.
Or unique. But I know that, as you alluded to, the original marketing came out and everyone panned it. I can't really remember what it looks like then, but I thought it looked very good. What about you? Completely
agree, except from when they had to rely on green screens. That was when it really fell apart. But I thought the visuals broadly were really good. And then there was just the occasional like bit where the actors would be in front of a green screen. It would be like glaringly obvious.
There were a couple of times where it was a bit off then, for sure.
But I figure it was probably not the easiest thing to pull off in a satisfying way. And I think generally they did a really good job of creating the creativity that it would take to actually turn like a box world into something that doesn't look horrific. on the big screen is probably quite challenging, and I think they did a really good job of it. So
yeah. What did you think of the two kind of lead young actors?
Yeah, I thought I'm not great judging acting generally. I thought that the lad was probably slightly better than the sister.
Okay.
But I think that he was just probably playing he wasn't playing a crazy challenging role from the look of it.
They were just run yeah, middle of the line. Yeah, you're there for Jack Black, Jason Momoa, aren't you?
Yeah. What did you think of them?
Fine. Literally,
Fine.
you know, don't do a job. Obviously, we'll get into questions about their age later, so I don't want to give the game away. Another
Maybe give that game away, actually. What is, because that sounds weird.
We've got a fun segment of guess the age of everyone in this coming up.
But we thought we'd do a twist, which is that I would try and age order the cast,
Just try
I
and
think.
work out.
And then that's going to be way more interesting for you all.
But yeah, I thought, you know what, they did a job. To be honest, look, if you're going to watch it or you aren't going to watch it, you probably made your decision now. So I reckon we go to the Mate Night Machine.
Yeah, okay.
And find out what we all really think. Or did you have one thing before?
The only other thing which I thought would be a nice little mention.
Go on then.
Did you see the Pig with the Crown? And do you know what that's about?
Yes, I was wondering whether we might actually mention that later on, but yeah. Go on.
Tune in later on and you'll find out. There's a pig with a crown, and there's a story there which matters to people.
Yeah. One of the more heartwarming Easter eggs, I'd say.
I'll tell you what, actually, before we close off, Easter eggs in general, it was just littered with them. It makes sense that they would release it at the start of April, because it's literally just every single scene is an Easter egg.
Yeah, it is. Something like that, though, it comes with the territory, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If they hadn't have done that, what's the point in doing a film?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can go into potentially a few of those. But first,
we could go through the portal, the nether portal. We could take this thingy and then this blue thingy and put them together.
This square, what's it, cube orb.
Which is all the explanation we need to give you.
And we're in a portal, and then we're going to come out with a number.
Which will be correct. For how good
take to the
the Minecraft movie is.
See you in a sec. Jesus Christ! We're back from the nether.
Jack Black is chasing me.
Jack Black!
Oh, well, we're back from the Mate Night Machine anyway.
Yeah. Come down to earth very quickly.
We figured out what the actual correct score is for the Minecraft movie using cutting-edge statistical models.
Oh, yeah.
Anything else that I need to say to Fred?
Cutting edge, yeah. Sorry, I was doodling. Yes, very, very fine. Okay. Now I'm excited to hear.
Yeah.
What has the Mate Night Machine deemed it to be?
So, Minecraft movie, opening weekend got $300 million.
So mad at that.
But it's got a 6.0 on IMDb, but it's got 88% on the popcornometer.
What?
So, is this movie
where do you stand?
Once and for all, the answer to the question is 6.23.
Ooh, I'm surprised it made it in the sixes, actually.
Yeah, so broadly what we said was that the plot, character and dialogue were the weakest areas. And the performance, visuals and sound were the things that kind of saved it.
Yeah, that's true. It did kind of balance out a bit, didn't it? And then it had a great impact.
Which are not the metrics in our Mate Night Machine.
I don't know what that means. It's just, the Mate Night Machine said it was 6.2. That's all that matters.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, if you enjoyed that, don't forget to tune in on your favourite podcast platforms. We post reviews on YouTube, but we go much deeper into things on those platforms.
Yeah, including this week, we're going to talk about a timeline of Minecraft, how it got made, and some other special segments. So tune in if you're interested.
Thanks so much for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Bye!